Before you can start editing your DJ video on DaVinci Resolve, you need to import and organize your media. That's what we're going to talk about in this video. I'm going to show you how I like to organize my files in my hard drive, and I'll show you my file structure. I'm also going to show you how to import and organize your media in DaVinci Resolve once you've made and started your project. And I'm also going to show you how to start a timeline and start importing and using your media. So let's get started. So before you start importing your media into DaVinci Resolve, I think it's very important to keep it organized. I'm going to show you where I keep all my archive folders, the projects that I've done over the years. I store them in a big network storage, and I put them into this folder called YouTube under my DJ folder. And under projects, I have all my projects. I like to title them by year, month, and date. This way they're in chronological order. And if we look at one, for example, one of the recent ones, this is the file structure that I like to use. So I like to label things and organize them by clips, by audio. I also end up making a folder for the renders, the final edits. Later, I make another folder for my thumbnail projects. And I like to take a screenshot of the track list that I use for this mix, just to keep it in the archives. And in the clips, for example, sometimes when I'm using multiple camera angles, I also like to organize them into these folders like camera A, B, and C, maybe with their model number and the lens that I use. And this way, if I ever want to jump back to finding a very specific thing, or if the project file in DaVinci Resolve lost the link to any of these files, it's very easy to then just go find the date, find the folder, go through the file structure, and tell DaVinci Resolve exactly where my files are. So for this video, we're going to use a small project that I recorded with one camera. So we're going to be using this here. And under clips, I have just one camera angle, just pointing at the controllers. I made sure to play the music loud in the room so that the onboard camera mics would pick up the sound. And this is going to help me later to sync it with the audio recording. And here I have my external recorder file, a WAV file of the mix. Now that I've organized my files, it's time to jump into DaVinci Resolve and start a project. If you haven't installed DaVinci Resolve, I made a video on how to do that and how to start your project. So you can click on the link right up here. And so for this, I'm not going to start a new project. I'm just going to jump right into the project that I used to edit this video, and we're going to look at the file structure there. So I'm going to open this. And so when I open this project, we landed in the media page. If you're not in the media page, you can go right down at the bottom, and this is where you can flip through the different pages of DaVinci Resolve, like the cut and edit page, the fusion page, the color page, Fairlight, which is the audio console, and the deliver page, which is where you export. But today we're talking about the media page. So this is where you're going to be able to import and organize your media for your project. So let me just show you around the user interface. At the top left, if you don't see this folder tree up here, click media storage to open that window. And here's where you can browse your hard drives and find the files that you want to work with. So I can go and find those same clips. Importing these files into your project is very easy, so you can just grab them and pull them down into your project. In that case, I already had it down here, but let's just pull something else. For example, maybe I want to use this thumbnail. You can just drag and drop, and now I have it here. This is just an image file. So for this project, I had already imported my audio file, which I can preview right here in this middle window. And I can skip around. I can also preview my video file. And the last item that you see here is the timeline. By default, you're not going to have one yet. So to do that, you can right click on the empty space, and in the pop-up menu, you can go up to create a new timeline. One thing you can also do is if you've already organized your media into folders in your file structure, you can grab the folder and drag it into your master folder right here, and it will import it in that same file structure. So you can then just grab your audio and also drop it in like that, and it will create those same folders inside of your master folder. So that's one easy way to keep things organized. Now, for a lot of our DJ videos, they're probably going to be really simple. You might have 1, 2, or 3 camera angles, 3 different video files, and maybe 1 audio recording. Later, when you want to start experimenting with more things, maybe you can add some graphics, some logos, and things like that. So it's nice to be in the habit of organizing your media so you know exactly where to find everything that you need. So once again, you can right-click on the empty space, go to timeline, and create a new timeline. The other thing you can do is go find the clip you want to start working with and just simply drag it into the tracks and drop it in, and that starts a new timeline right here, timeline 2. If you have multiple timelines, you can open all the other timelines in your project. If you're not seeing this, look for this little icon called timeline view options, and in there, make sure that display stacked timelines is checked on. This could be a good way to try different and new ideas without messing up your work. So for example, if you did all this work to add this title and you want to try something different, what you could do is just right click on the timeline and then duplicate that timeline to make a copy of it, and now open that one to start messing around. So maybe you want to change the timing of this, and maybe the fade in is a little bit longer for this version. So you just want to compare and contrast. You can make this timeline and then jump back to the other one, and you get to have 2 good options and do an A/B comparison. So here's a pro tip about the media that I really like. Once you've made a clip that is in your timeline, if you just click and drag and drop it back into your media folder, it creates a new clip. Now, it's not actually making a new media file in your hard drive. It's simply just telling DaVinci Resolve, hey, use that same file in a different way. So now that I have that, I can then take that, drop it back into the timeline with the same timing, with the same parameters that I set earlier. So once again, for example, if I want to make a cut here and I want this to be a singular clip that I want to use later, maybe later in the video, for example, I can grab that. Once I move it out of there, you see how if I move it, I start to like change things. But once it sees that I'm dragging it all the way to the media page and I drop it, that's a new clip. So let's say new short clip. Now, when I drag it back into the timeline, it's exactly the same length, the same duration, the same clip as what I had selected earlier. Now, before I go, I also want to show you a little bit of a shortcut. If you open DaVinci Resolve and you have your Finder window open because maybe you had just been downloading your files, you can simply go find your files and drag them directly into DaVinci Resolve, and that will essentially import them into your media. You can also do this directly into a timeline. So let's just say I grab this from Finder and I can drop it right there. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to sync your audio and your video together. Resolve makes it really easy for DJs to do this. So if you haven't already, subscribe and leave me a comment if there's anything in this video that wasn't clear or you have any questions that you're having trouble with. Let me know so we can address it in the next video. Thanks for watching.